first of all, I want to say, David, what a great congratulations on this gem, this art of work. I'm born and raised in Puerto Rico, Bayamon. You brought so many emotions. I learned so much about Roberto. So
Cool.
congratulations
Oh,
on
cool.
this. And Roberto, for me, it's a truly honor to have you, to meet you, because hello, I'm Puerto Rican, and I have Roberto Clemente son, Jr. Right here in front of me. So I'm like really proud, to be interviewing you and talk about this documentary that
Sure.
is about to come out. Okay, David, what drew you about Clemente's story?
Yeah, I mean, I am not a baseball guy. I was terrible at baseball as a kid. I didn't know anything about baseball other than the basic rules. But I remember growing up, I heard just Clemente died helping people. I grew up about 60 miles outside of Pittsburgh. So back in 2018, I was just wanting to do a film about someone that would inspire viewers to do good for their fellow humans, to live their lives with meaning and purpose. And I thought back to when I was a kid and hearing, oh, Roberto Clemente, he died helping people. So I read a book about Clemente and was just blown away by who he was as a baseball player, but more importantly, who he was as a person. And that was when I started thinking, you know what, I this is a film I want to do, and I got incredibly lucky that I was able to connect with the Clemente family, and they. For some reason, entrusted me with this incredible story, and I mean, it's been a 6 year journey.
Wow.
And it's been epic. It's we've gone over a pandemic, and we have searched the world high and low for stories and recordings of Clemente, and it's just so cool to finally be at a place where we can release the film.
Amazing. Roberto, talking about that, there's like, there's so many audios and recordings that maybe that you, even your son, you are the son, you haven't even seen here. How did you feel discovering all these videos, all these stories, like they were part of history about your dad that maybe we didn't even, that I didn't even know that we know about Roberto.
Well, yes. I mean, there's one in particular. I mean, there were so many, but one in particular that I always heard was the fact that Ramiro Martinez had gone into the hospital with a mic to be able to record my first cry, to be able to play that back on the phone for Dad back in Pittsburgh. So, when I heard that, obviously for me it was very emotional because I'm thinking about him, me having my kids, but for him not being able to be there, but to be able to hear my first cry, that was very very special.
Yeah, I was like, wow, he want you guys to be born in Puerto Rico. He will miss your birth because he had to play, but he had to make sure that you are guys are born in Puerto Rico. For me,
That's a Puerto Rican pride. Yeah, the
that's
Puerto
a big
Rican pride.
sacrifice,
Yes.
As
Yeah.
a, I said that too. First that, like first time that. So it's crazy that all that happened and all the sacrifice that he did for the family, for us as a Puerto Ricans, and for the baseball, and what he did. I haven't seen a player what he did as a humanitarian, labor. The others do all the stories about the fans that were brought. I was like, wow, there's nobody like him. There's nobody like him. Incredible. Until this
Yeah.
day, we don't have
Yeah.
nobody like him. How, David, how you approach all those many stories? Because I'm pretty sure in this research, you discover so many stories that a book, it can even tell it all. Talking to
Yeah.
the family and, all the family members and, Roberto and friends. How you manage creating this documentary, putting his humanitarian life, his baseball career in this film.
Yeah, I mean, and that's, you're always trying to strike the balance. You want, of course, I want to make a film that baseball fans are gonna love, and the real diehard baseball nerds and the people who know the stats. I want them to love it. But I also like not being a baseball person. I wanted to make a film that I would enjoy or my wife and kids would enjoy. We don't, we love going to one or two Pirates games a year, but we're not there every day. So it was the balancing of act of making sure that it was true to who he was on the field, but most importantly, true to who he was off the field. And I think that's where, the team and I worked really hard to make sure that we captured that with Roberto and Dwayne Reeder from the Clemente Museum here in Pittsburgh, who's one of the executive producers, and Luis Roberto, Roberto's younger brother, and who's also an executive producer on the film. And we did the last interview with Vera Clemente, Roberto's wife, and Roberto Jr.'s mom before she passed away, and just really wanted to make sure that we captured who he was off the field. And I think that was to me the most important thing.
Roberto, how involved were you in the making of the documentary? Make sure there is the accuracy of everything that is true to itself.
So David started earlier, and one thing he left out, he was very persistent in calling and making sure that we were getting involved. And it took a minute to do that. But once we did, I was able to meet him and connect with him. I was able to see the thread what he wanted to do, and I felt very comfortable that he was in the right path. So it was easy. It was very easy. He's an easy guy to connect with and talk to and work with. So it was very seamless. It was painless. And we had a good time. I think it was a great experience to work with David. And the product says it all. I think that people are going to enjoy this documentary in plenty.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
I truly enjoyed it.
it was I just want to say I'm so grateful that the Clemente family, was involved. I mean, there was no film. The film wasn't going to happen if Roberto and Luis Roberto and Vera didn't bless it, because it was so important to all of the team that this be a story that the family feels is true and isn't just, some just another product that is made without their blessing and involvement. We really wanted their blessing, and I'm so grateful that they entrusted us with this story and helped us tell it. I mean, Roberto is one of the main storytellers in the film. Luis Roberto is one of the main storytellers in the film. We just really wanted that the intimacy of the family's memories and experiences.
Amazing. You guys have like a different contributors to Azorrita, Azor Daniel Molina, Michael Keaton. How was working? Like, how you guys made all this happen with all the? I'm like, I saw Michael Keaton. I was like, oh my God, he's talking about Roberto. Crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was really cool how just so many people from so many walks of life had these just stories of connection with Clemente, whether it was Michael Keaton, who never met Clemente, but just was so impacted as a young boy by Roberto Clemente, or Richard Linklater, who's, an Oscar-nominated director who grew up in Texas, and he has his Clemente story, or Tom Morello from Rage Against the Machine is in the film, and, just all these people from different walks of life, Rita Moreno, all the, just who were impacted by Clemente's life and his legacy. It was just so cool to hear these different voices coming together to tell this story of how this singular human so deeply impacted them.
Roberto, for you, how important was listening to all these people talking like that about your dad? I'm pretty sure you have heard a lot of people talking about your dad. If this doesn't impress you, but it still kind of feel like, wow, these people know my dad.
It's it is you never get tired really of people's stories. It doesn't matter who it is, if it's a celebrity or not. I mean, we're all the same. That's one thing that Dad taught us, is that we all come from the same place. We're all brothers and sisters. And I think that, thinking about my, the blessing of a great legacy my father left, because of that, I've been able to meet, for example, every president since Jimmy Carter, right? In the United States. And every one of them big Clemente fans, because they're baseball fans, but they're fans not only about the baseball player, but also the humanitarian, the person that he was. Because Clemente is baseball secondary when you say the name, and
Mm-hmm.
humanitarian comes first, baseball player comes second. And I think that that translates very well in this project, and it is what it is. It's actually his life, the way he lived it, and that's how he connects with everyone because of that human interest story.
To finish for both of you, how you want the audience, like people that we know. I grew up, I was born 5 years after he died, and of course in Puerto Rico we all know Roberto, but having this on the big screen and the in other channels, I'm like, how you want the new generation to know about Clemente? Like it's not only the baseball history, but to the humanitarian labor that he did for everybody and more. It was kind of nice to see that he did other stuff that nobody knew behind the scenes. It's like what we know is amazing, and what we don't know, it had to be greater. So how you want that to resonate with the young generation that maybe heard about Clemente, but don't let the whole full story about him?
Well, hopefully, when they watch the film, they'll be able to really feel the need, or really step forward to the call to action from this film. His life, the way he lived it, was actually being able to emulate someone like him to become better global citizens, being able to be better sons, better fathers and mothers and sisters, and be able to become a better community because of how we act, being able to really care about each other. And for that, I think this will be a great catalyst to start moving that forward.
Amen. What about you, David? This is your
Yeah,
baby.
I just want people who watch this film to know that like your life matters, and the small acts of kindness matter and can truly change someone's life. The acts that you may forget about. I'm sure Roberto Clemente, there were so many acts of kindness and generosity that he didn't even remember he did. And here we are 50 years later and people are still talking about the impact
Mhm.
that these moments had on their lives. So that's my hope, is that um that a new younger generation of people discovers this story for the first time and is inspired to go out and do good, and that people who know the story are re-inspired. People are re-inspired to go and live a life for others and for the common good.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And thank you again for this gem. I cry, I scream, I felt sad. There were
Yes.
so many emotions. I think the first 5 minutes I start crying because I
Ah,
was like,
great.
oh my God. It was really, it's the pride. I'm like, you're Puerto Rican, Roberto. So you know how it's like to see the flag, all this stuff. It's just like, wow. But thank you, David, for representing,
Yes.
Roberto, like, and how he was and how he's still a legacy, and he will never die, and his legacy will never die, and we'll make sure that we will continue talking about Roberto.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It'll be in theaters in Puerto Rico on September 11th, starting on September 11th. And I hope all of your listeners can go and see it. Go to www.clemente.film to learn more.
I will make sure I will share all that too. Thank you so much, and I really appreciate it, and good luck with the rest of the junk.
Un
Let's do
placer.
it. Thank
Un
you.
placer, cuídense, bye.
Bye.
Bye.